Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It is Coffee Ann here on ON Radio. It's June 16th in the year 2023. This is Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us on the Coffee Ann program. Romeo Bertham has joined us at the Coffee Ann table. Hi there, Romeo.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Fun time back at the graduation?
Yeah, we had a good time. Right, Dave?
Well, I don't know if Dave had a good time. I'm asking you.
Okay. Yeah, went well.
Good.
It was a very good broadcast.
Yeah.
And we owe you a great debt for rounding it off.
I particularly enjoyed the auditorium, and I
like
believe,
being in there?
yeah, and I believe it should be there every year. Now, in the Valley Breeze this week, I forget who wrote the article. I forget her name. Brianna Pelletier. Pelletier. Okay. She wrote that this was going to be the last graduation of Barry Field anyway.
No.
And I asked Superintendent
McGee.
Pat McGee about that. He said, "No, that's not necessarily true. Somebody started that rumor."
They did.
okay.
Because they're high school kids who do not understand the dynamics of construction delays.
So why didn't Brianna check that out?
I mean, they have had no reason
Okay.
to understand it yet.
Yeah.
Don't know yet.
No, I'm not criticizing her. I'm just saying it wasn't. Once it's published, people say, "Oh, that was going to be the last one at Barry." No, probably will be there next
maybe not.
year.
But probably.
But
Okay.
but usually they have it when it's indoors. They have it in the gym,
Yeah.
Right.
and that's
Unsatisfactory.
That's not a very good venue.
Nobody likes it in the gym. Zero people like it in the gym.
You're sitting in the bleachers, and
No good.
Administration officials don't like it. Nobody likes it in the gym.
the auditorium was just a perfect venue, and I hope they consider doing that.
Air conditioned.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Comfortable.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
There you go.
Torrential downpours outside.
Not to worry. Yeah,
Yeah.
inside.
And
Whoa.
great pictures in this week's edition of The Breeze as well. I'm doing a
Okay.
commercial for them, but they did a nice layout. And those who didn't
You
watch
want to
it
finish
on,
it off, by the way, when the time comes? I got the two papers right
it's
here.
up to you.
That'll be a little later.
I read it last night. But anyway, yeah, it was fun. And I enjoyed doing it. And, of course, I used to work there, so it meant a little bit more than it would have for the average person who had not gone to the high school. Although Dave went to Burrillville, but he certainly knows the high school well. He's been doing the concerts there for years, and you know most of the personnel, so it all worked out very nicely.
All right.
Right.
Dave, it's time for first message for our first segment sponsor, Coffee Ann. That would be the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce.
When I was
So
raising my
please go
family,
right ahead.
when I was raising my family in Burrillville, Romeo, the joke was, I lived in Woonsocket, but I slept in Burrillville.
Okay, yeah, there is a plaque somewhere in one of the buildings here in the city. Dave slept here.
Oh, it's right where my desk is in my office.
Right.
That's everybody talks about how many hours I work and stuff like that. Every now and then, I mean, things catch up to you and you do nod off. I can laugh about this now, but it was a mortifying experience at the time. When we were down on Social Street, my office was a converted studio. And there was a big glass window in it. So because with studios, you can look into the next room, right?
Yeah.
So there I am at my desk, and I look up. I say, "Ooh, geez!" I just nodded off. And I look up, and there's Matt Heffernan with a tour of the radio station, pointing at me.
And there's the boss.
Did you felt like you were in a zoo and you were now you know how those
I was mortified
animals
at the
felt.
time.
Sure.
It had nothing to do but laugh about it now. The Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce slows down a little bit during the summertime. They are sleeping it off this morning because they were there last night during the, and when I say sleeping it off, folks, you know how I mean it. Very, very late night for everybody under the Marble Dome last night. And for those who are listening in Coffee Ann, didn't hear my earlier comment, we get these updates now from the State House on the news service from the State House, and the most recent one was sent out at 1:40 this morning, 20 minutes before 2,
Okay.
on what the legislators had done this past night and early morning. So they went into the early morning hours down there at the State House, and of course the advocacy professionals with the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce were there as well, right down to the wire. So they're probably going to be a little droopy-eyed this morning, but somebody will be there at 9 o'clock to answer your telephone calls. And they'll remind you that the events do subside a little bit. The advocacy does not. And they just came in from fever pitch right there. Next, of course, they'll be making phone calls over to the governor and say, you don't really want to sign that thing, do you? Or maybe, please sign this one. And the rest of that sort of thing is because you need that kind of advocacy. Because nobody, I mean, I couldn't be here this morning if I was doing all that stuff last night down at the legislature. So business people need advocates, and that's the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. We have a couple of events coming along. The first one is in August, so you got plenty of time for me to tell you about them. I'll get to them in another broadcast for the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Joe?
All right there, Dave. Thank you very much. And I got a nice long email.
A nice long email?
From Dave, Steve in Cumberland.
Stephen Cumberland,
because we were talking about
Do You Remember show with Gary Smith and company?
He does, as a matter of fact. Because
Obviously,
we were talking about yesterday about there's a new Beatles song coming. Dave, and Dave, and Dave's like, no, it's not.
My head.
And I'm
This
like,
is
yes,
all
it is.
so much-
And he's like, yes, it is. And now Steve
Why
tells
do we
me
have to act
now
like
here- now be-
5-year-olds with
be-
Christmas coming
be
here?
Be quiet over there, because I'm going to read his email.
Oh, okay.
Because it's going to explain everything. Now, the John Lennon song that Paul McCartney and company will be sourcing for a new Beatles song by extracting Lennon's voice the song is called Now and Then.
Now and Then.
Okay. It's a John Lennon demo recording that he recorded on tape in 1979. It features his voice and him playing the piano. And that's it. All right. It was a work in progress, but he never finished it, and then he was killed. So it was never officially released by John Lennon. In the mid-1990s, the three surviving Beatles at the time created 2 new Beatles songs for the 3 Beatles anthology albums that were released by also using 2 John Lennon demos that he never released. Free as a Bird, I remember that song. Real Love, I do not remember. So Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, George Harrison, George Martin, and Jeff Lynne of ELO created those 2 new Beatles songs, and they were also released as singles. They also considered doing the same thing with Lennon's demo recording of Now and Then, but George Harrison called the song rubbish. And they also considered doing the same, called it rubbish, but so they never proceeded. So they already did this without AI, but with the studio recording technology that was around in the mid-1990s. It's just that now we have far better technology, AI stuff, that's able to cleanly separate Lennon's vocals from the piano playing, plus some slight background humming noise that existed on the demo tape. And then they'll all mix together. We'll have a new Beatles song, Dave. So there. Thanks, Steve, by the way, for giving that to us.
The Beatles, as a group and as a legal entity, were disbanded in the 1970s. So there is no more the Beatles. Right, there's no more the Beatles. And what I'm trying to just say here is, and you just keep pushing me to make comments about it, Joe. But now that we're on Coffee Ann and I can be a little bit more long-winded about it, the fact is I'm delighted that people who like the Beatles music are happy that this is happening. I'm delighted for them because this is the entertainment business. And if this is going to entertain them, if this is going to take their minds off their many troubles of the day, then God bless America, go for it. I am not against this happening. I simply say, when you look at it, say, Dave, you're a Beatles fan. You know something? I was, especially of the stuff they did before they were taking drugs. But I am, I really, really loved what they did with music. I was terribly entertained, and I enjoy even singing along with the songs today. But I'm telling you that I'm not the kind of guy that is going to think that any little piece of leftover scrap is the most wonderful thing in the world. Joe, tell me, if
I didn't say it was going to be wonderful.
right, if let's just say, because I don't want to get people's names into it, and then people will say, well, this person was good, this person was bad. Just say a person who died in 1980. There was a lock of hair in a scrapbook from when they were a baby. And you took that lock of hair and with today's technology cloned a human being out of it. Would they be the grandson or son of that person? No, it's too far-fetched. It's too far removed from the spirit of the person who lived. It's too far removed, and that's why this isn't entertainment for me.
All right.
Well, talking about cloning, if I may, and we'll get back to the Beatles in a minute, Dave, because I want to say something about them too. I knew a guy from the far northwest.
Oroville?
And his name was Ike, and he was cloned. He was known as Cloned Ike of the Klondike. Okay, now that I've said that, the Beatles, I want to commend the Woonsocket High School chorus for doing such a great job with Hello, Goodbye. They did.
yeah? After graduation?
It was one of the best.
Did you miss that part of it, Joe?
Yeah,
I know
I
you
didn't
could only
hear
tune in
that.
for a little bit here and there.
They were so good. And of course, while I'm commending the music department, let's also commend the band. They did a great job. As you know, I was in Florida for a while, and one of my granddaughters graduated from high school on May 19th out there in Englewood, Lemon Bay High School. And it was a nice ceremony, but everything was recorded. There was no live band.
No band?
What a
Wow.
difference. What
Yeah.
a difference. So I want to, again, the high school always does a good job. They always provide a live band. But this year's musical interludes were just superb. Superb. Dave?
All right.
Do you agree?
Well,
Why am I
absolutely.
asking you?
But I can add an additional dimension to
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I can tell you that,
Yeah.
really, seriously, folks,
Yeah.
playing that dirge that is
Dirge?
Pomp and circumstance.
yeah, that is now
After a while you get tired of hearing it.
expected,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Playing that dirge 20 times over and over again will drive a kid nuts.
Yeah, you were in a
and
band,
to
right?
have the discipline to do that, I also commend, because unless you were there doing it in your youth, you don't get how much
Yeah.
how much bother it is, how much of a dedication it takes to play that. Oh, come on. Yeah, first of all, you don't like the song to begin with because you're a kid, right? And then on top of that, it's like, this is my great-grandparents' music. And then on top of that, it's like, this thing doesn't move. It doesn't have a beat. You can't dance to it. And then on top of
Yeah.
that, no, we got to play it again. And
you-
this year, Mr. Chris Depot and the band was obliged to play it additional multiple times because there was a little delay in getting the seniors through the door and into the auditorium.
Well, it was their first time in the auditorium. Give them a break.
Well, it was.
They'll do
and
better next time.
I was led to believe afterwards. We didn't understand the delay
Yeah,
at first, but
yeah.
luckily we had an announcer who had all kinds of historical facts that was able to keep us entertained while all that was going on. But it was that they had to come in an order, a certain order, their last name alphabetical,
Yeah.
and they had to enter that way so they could sit down that way so that they could go up and get their diplomas that way. So all that was, but there were people missing in line, and they had to go fetch them and find out where they were and get them in. That was the cause of the delay. Just a natural thing that would never happen out in the open at Barry Field, but did happen for the auditorium this time.
And after the graduation, I did further research. Was a little too late, but I can use it next year maybe if we do this again. In the first high school graduation, I wasn't sure. It was I said sometime in the 1860s. It was actually in the 1870s. It was 1876. But the very first high school that opened in Woonsocket, which was at the time part of Cumberland, because we weren't incorporated till the 1880s, was in 1848. Can you believe that? There were students attending Woonsocket High School, what they called Woonsocket High School, in Woonsocket Falls, in a village of Cumberland, Rhode Island, in 1848. Okay, so we're an old high school.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break here, but one more thing about the
But
the
who won
whole
the Super
Beatles
Bowl
things.
that year?
Nobody. Anyway, Dave, it's just from the public's point of view, in my opinion, if you got Paul McCartney and John Lennon singing on a song together, it's the Beatles. And that's just the way they're looking at it.
No, it's not the Beatles.
It
it's
is the
Paul
Beatles.
and John.
It's the Beatles.
But listen,
It's time.
If you
No, no,
like
no,
it,
no.
if you like it, it's good.
Well, right. All right. We got a break.
I rejoice in your happiness,
Thanks.
Joe.
Thank you. We have to break. It is time for a second message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, please.
Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, 334-1000. Take it away, Joe.
Thanks, Dave. More coffee ads coming up. Stay tuned.
The latest word from John Chan at Chan's Fine Oriental Dining on Main Street is early bird specials. This is for dine-in only. Sunday to Thursday from 3 to 5, get $2 off 32 special combo dinners. $2 off. Drink specials on Sunday to Thursday, 3 to 9 p.m. House wine, $5. Domestic beers, $4. Mai Tai and Scorpion Bowls, $7, of course. Get your poop platters at Chan's. Enjoy the awesome Chan's experience. It's so good. Chan's is at 267 Main Street, Woonsocket. And you can go online at chanseggrollsandjazz.com or give them a buzz at 765-1900. Takeout, drive-through, delivery, or sit in the booth. And now John Chan is extending those new early bird specials to 3 to 6 p.m. by popular demand, Sunday through Thursday. $2 off Chan's 32 special combination dinners till 6 p.m. And one more addendum. John Chan sent me this email, says, "Good morning, Dave. Please remember to mention Happy Father's Day. Take Dad to Chan's. Celebrate with Chan's on Main Street in Woonsocket." That's Chan's.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
We are local and live at 99.5 FM.
It is Coffee and on ON, AM, and FM. Joe Callahan here, along with Dave Richards, Romeo Berthum. Joining us on the phone right now.
Here she is, ladies and gentlemen.
Rigo.
The Megster.
Good morning, Meg.
Good morning, everyone.
Meg with NeighborWorks Blackstone River Valley. Tonight kicks off the Levitt Amp Woonsocket Music Series, year number 5. Can you believe it's year number 5, Meg?
Sure.
We're children already.
We're
5-year-olds. We're going to kindergarten. I'm shocked. It's amazing. Who would have thought 5 years ago that we'd be at this moment today?
No, it's great. And so we're going to go 10 Fridays in a row here. Dave had to speak with a lot of people and pulled a lot of strings to get the good weather for today.
Not me, it's her. I give her the bad news, and she says, "Don't worry about it, Dave. I'll
take
fix
care
it."
of it from there.
Yeah, right. I'm the executive producer. This is what I do.
Nothing like that rosary bead out the window trick to help the weather gods smile down on you on Friday night.
So the 11 amp series at River Island Art Park, 6 to 9 p.m. every Friday night. Free live music. That's great. That's the great part. Food trucks, kids activities, and tonight Kiki Valera with Cuban music kicks everything off.
He does.
Actually,
Oh, my
Becky
goodness,
Bass
I'm
kicks it off, Joe.
Well,
And then
there.
Yeah, right. Kiki is
So-
the headliner.
We'll start with Becky and some steel drumming. Becky is a renowned vocalist. She has been actually performing all over the region recently with her beautiful voice.
It was just announced that she's going to perform with the New Jersey Symphony Orchestra, and that's not a joke.
Right. It's a kind of a big deal. And she'll be right at our park tonight at 6 p.m., River Island Art Park in Woonsocket.
Smiling.
She's just lovely. She is just such a beautiful presence to have up there. So excited for her. And then our headlining act, Kiki Valera, Stone music, Cuban stone music is very traditional Cuban music. It is fun to dance to. There are congas and horn sections, and it's just beautiful. So this act is actually going to Carnegie Hall tomorrow. And they figured since they're up here, they might as well stop by Woonsocket and put on a show for us tonight.
Yeah, from the standpoint of Cuba, we're right next door.
Yeah, there you go.
We know it's a 3-hour train ride, but but for the standpoint of Cuba, hey, that's right next door, isn't it?
Close
right
enough.
next door. Not a big deal.
Hey, Meg, how do you get to Carnegie Hall?
You know, that is a great question.
Practice, practice, practice. That's an old joke.
It's an it's a great question, but a really old joke, Meg.
I would never get to Carnegie Hall. They would laugh at me. They would say, you can stay on the organizing side. So thank you. Now I know.
And so now, all the acts are all set up. We're all ready to go. Everybody's, all the ducks are in a row for all 10 weeks, right?
The ducks are in a row. It's going to be a phenomenal season 5 of Levitt Amp Woonsocket. Mm-hmm. You've got some of your usual familiar acts, and then we've got some new folks that are there. One of the new things we're doing this year, building on the success of last year, is our friend Jerry Barclay King from Jerry's Fluffing Boutique is doing an intermission performance each week.
Can you get her to come out of her shell a little more, Meg?
You know, I think that she should really wear brighter colors.
She should wear brighter colors. You're right. We're just kidding around. Jerry is
Oh,
full
yeah.
of energy
Oh, yeah.
and wears very bright colored clothes all the time.
Jerry is her own solar system.
And she will be on the stage each week with, she likes to say she's giving us a dose of culture. So just
All
in
right.
case the different musical artists weren't enough for you, we got a little extra with Jerry's Bluffing Boutique. And this week, in honor of Juneteenth weekend, our friends from St. James Baptist Church will be leading us in a sing-along of the Black National Anthem at intermission. So they're
Nice.
coming out as our volunteer sponsor for the week. They'll be in the park making sure everyone's welcome. And then I'm going to finally learn all the words to the Black National Anthem. So
Oh, okay. Well, very good. Well, it sounds like you got everything ready to go. What food trucks will be there this week?
we got just 2 trucks tonight, but they are good ones. We have Renee's Catering.
Oh, I love her.
I know.
Oh, she's great.
Mm-hmm. She's wonderful. And then our staple bugged out barbecue will be there as well.
All right. Bug's
All right,
going to
Bug.
be there. Now what do I do? I'm going to have to eat 2 dinners.
Yeah, we just need 2 dinners: first dinner, second dinner. You have one after the opening act and one after the headliner. You're good to go.
All right, great. Well, best of luck tonight, and we hope it's a great crowd for you, and we hope the rain holds off. It should, and everything goes smoothly tonight. Meg, best of luck.
Thanks, Joe. We'll see everyone at River Island Art Park from 6 to 9 for 11 amp 1 socket.
And we'll see you there at 4 o'clock there, Meg.
Setting up.
Love it. Thank you guys.
All right, have a
No,
great day.
Levitt, dear. Levitt. Love it, Levitt.
Got it.
I love it.
Thanks, Meg. All right. Back here on the Coffee and program, we did have a note I wanted to get to. Came to me yesterday, and I didn't get to it because it went into my spam folder.
Came to you in a dream?
Yeah, it went to my spam dream, by the way. So, but just on a completely different subject, veterinarians take care of our domestic animals, dogs and cats, and that's the key word, domestic. But to take in an animal from their natural habitat and attend to their maladies and/or injuries, and then release them back into the wild, isn't it possible that the animal has been traumatized from the human touch in living conditions that they can't adapt back to the wild, and actually upset their metabolism where they can't function and eventually will die? Mm-hmm. I guess that's possible. I'm not up on my animal.
That's a question. That's a rhetorical question.
It's a rhetorical
Yeah,
question, I
yeah.
guess. Should we be touching? Should the vets be working on wild animals? I guess.
Well, if they're in trouble health-wise, and even if they're not domesticated, they're helping them by treating them, and
Yeah.
re-releasing them into the, that's the key, I think. I don't know much about this, but I would say it's not going to harm them in the long run.
It's on one of those cable channels,
Yeah, good.
Rocky Mountain Vet or
I've heard, yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that, and that's what that vet does.
All right.
I'm gonna go treat the elk, and I'm gonna go treat the bison, and
Yeah.
that's what he does. They don't. He goes to them. They don't come into his office.
Sure.
So-
Well, yeah.
All right. Well, there we go. So and
Anybody who grew up around animals knows the wild ones you don't deal with.
they deal with them themselves.
Well, yeah, you want to do something. You
Yeah.
do, but you know
It's human
life
nature.
is never going to be right for that animal if they live with humans,
Yeah.
even for a short time, because they're species mates out in the wild are going to know. I mean, they got the smell of humans on them and like that. So it's a toughie.
Well, yeah, it's debatable, though, Dave, as everything is. For example, birds, wild birds that are out there. You put out feeders for them, and they come and get the food provided to them by humans and the water and stuff.
But they're not living with you, though.
Yeah,
Romeo.
well, but
You're
they're-
not touching, holding,
But they're dependent.
administering to their needs. Also, I know people who have feeders that use dishwashing gloves to fill the feeders.
Oh, do they?
Oh,
Just to
yeah.
make sure their scent isn't
Make-
on any of the
that's
food.
right,
Huh?
yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Do the birds actually become dependent on that? If you
I
take
think some
if
do.
you take it away, they're gonna
I think you could kind
You don't
of.
see birds falling out of the sky. They'll go find something else to eat.
Have you seen the movie The Bird? No, actually,
It's a great movie.
yeah, isn't it good?
Yeah.
No, but actually, it's hard. But I think they get spoiled. It's like everything else, you know. Hey, I got food over here. I'm not.
Yeah.
Of course, the squirrels and the
But have
chipmunks love it.
I forget.
Are they wild?
Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
There's a anti-squirrel bird feeder.
Anti-squirrel.
That's on there. And when the squirrels jump onto the bottom of the bird feeder, it starts to spin because of the weight of the squirrel. It doesn't do it with the birds because they're very light.
And it scares them away.
Well, as they hang out for as long as they can, then they just fly.
Yeah.
The squirrels fly off of
They
it.
literally fly.
Then they come back. They keep trying, but now they're just too dizzy, and they say, "I can't get the food going this way," so they stop. All right, so that's what's up with
Okay.
the birds right there. We did have this brought up. After the NBA, the Denver Nuggets won the NBA. There was a shooting.
Yeah.
Did not happen in
But,
Vegas when the Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup.
no,
Not
but
that I heard of.
yeah. Well, so what are you suggesting? Basketball fans are wild.
No, I was just going to say Las Vegas fans are better behaved, which is surprising.
Well, it's probably
than your Denver fans.
Yeah, more security there than ever since that terrible shooting.
Oh, possibly.
That's
possible.
But
yeah.
the mayor of Denver said there were 700,000 people there. 700,000.
in downtown Denver.
Yes. Well, in the viewing the parade. And
Okay.
the shootings, 2 of them, nobody died. I mean, they're serious injuries.
Was this during the parade?
I believe it was.
Oh, I didn't hear about this.
Only 2. Yeah, right. This was during the parade.
Okay.
This was yesterday.
I just thought it was after they won.
No, that was another one.
Right.
One person was shot there, but only 2 people. I say only out of 700,000.
Oh, so
2
it's
people
okay.
were shot. It was it's not okay, but it was a targeted shooting. It wasn't like a
Oh.
random.
Yeah.
It was somebody that had a grudge against somebody, and they took advantage of the big crowd. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, relatively speaking, and the key word is relative.
Mm-hmm.
The way things are going today, it was a relatively safe event. I mean, 2 people shot out of 700,000, and it was targeted. I'm not suggesting that, there should have been no shooting, of course. But what I wanted to point out is, no matter where you go now, no matter where you go, it's always in the back of my mind. Somebody's gonna get shot. Church, a movie, a game, a casino. You don't know, and
You're right.
we live in that fear. I know the percentage of it happening is not,
low.
is very low, but still, it's in the back of everyone's mind. It's the times
Well,
in which,
it wasn't in the back of mine, but now it is, Romeo. So thanks.
because I pointed it out. Yeah, the times in which we live.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
All right, the Senate approved the state budget. The House already approved the state budget, so it's a $14 billion state budget that goes to the governor's desk for his signature. They will have funding for education, housing, business development, but no money for the Superman building in Providence or the soccer stadium in Pawtucket.
Okay.
So, okay. Now, we have the Republican press release of what they think about the passage. They don't like it.
Of course not.
Well, it's a dissenting opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
According to Senate Minority Leader Jessica De La Cruz, she states, quote, Rhode Island has the highest per capita spending in New England.
Right.
New Hampshire has a larger population and more land mass, yet their state budget is just over $15 billion for 2 years. And no one complains about their roads.
Well, there's no income tax in New Hampshire either. So.
No, but they have other taxes.
Oh, I understand. Is there a clause in the Constitution, the Rhode Island Constitution, that says the legislature will have to adjourn after so many days? Are they supposed to meet for how many days? 60 days or something? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I know in Florida they enforce it strictly. There's no, dilly-dallying at the end. They adjourn the day they're supposed to adjourn. New Hampshire, you brought New Hampshire up.
Mm-hmm.
They only meet, I think it's every other year. That's why
Well,
they have.
that's
That's why they have that
2
2-year
years.
budget.
Yeah.
They have the largest legislature in the country.
In New
They
Hampshire?
have about 300 or 400 people that
Wow.
serve in that
Right.
body. Anyway,
Well, it's a long drive
But I'm
from Twin Mountains down there to Concord.
yeah. Well, again, everything is relative. It's a long drive from Tallahassee to Miami.
Well, that's
too.
true. De La Cruz goes on to say the record spending in this budget sets a dangerous precedent, particularly with little relief in sight for high inflation and the potential for a looming recession. All right. We had a rare opportunity to use surpluses and federal funds to supplement our budget, decrease spending, and send money back to taxpayers, like other states have done.
Yeah,
Like
Massachusetts. Yeah.
Of course, they took the money from the wrong kitty, but that's another story.
Yep.
Instead, the budget increased to a new historic high.
Okay.
And you know the governor's going to sign it.
Now, is this going to impact,
What are the governor's options, really?
Well, he can send it back or
Yeah.
he can sign it, but he likes
And
it
so-
anyway.
and then
so-
it'll be $13.9 billion. I mean, what are his real choices?
Yeah.
He doesn't have line item veto. So he can't say, okay, we'll change that.
It's just cancel the whole thing.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's an all or nothing sort of thing. So instead of going without a budget, which has got enormous complications as we've seen on the federal level, you really have to.
tax increase coming or what? How are they going to fund this?
Oh no, the tax increase is coming. Yes,
Yeah.
next year
Oh.
because they can't sustain it. They have passed an unsustainable budget. They can
Okay.
do it this year, but next year they couldn't possibly.
Yeah.
They don't have the resources next year. And the only thing they could ever do is to do less with a tax increase.
Okay. We'll take a break here on the Coffee and program. More is coming your way, and it's time for the weather forecast. Hang on here. Weather forecast is being sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Clouds increase today, but no rain until tonight, with a high of 82. Tonight, rain and plenty of it, overnight low of 60. Saturday, more rain, 1 to 2 inches of rain possible during the day Saturday, with a high of 68. Sunday, a 50-50 chance of showers, mostly cloudy with a high of 69. Monday, partly sunny with a high of 70. Tuesday, partly sunny and 70. Wednesday, mostly sunny and 75. And on Thursday, mostly sunny skies and 78.
Currently outside the Navigate Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we have mostly sunny skies with 74 degrees.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate. It's finally here, the first of the 10 Levitt Amp Woonsocket Friday night free concerts at River Island Art Park. This week we kick it all off at 6 p.m. with smooth music perfect for dancing. Rhode Island native Becky Bass returns to the Levitt Amp stage as our opening act. Then it's Kiki Valera with the music of Cuba. There's nothing like live music in a beautiful park setting, so come, bring a blanket or lawn chair, live music, food trucks, on-site bar, kids activities, and activities for every age with the dynamic Jerry Barclay King. If you can't come this week in person, concerts will be broadcast live over the air on ON AM and FM stereo radio and streamed live at woonsocketradio.com or watch in your home on your smart TV via our YouTube channel, ON Worldwide. Our weekly Levitt broadcasts are sponsored in part by Buxton Hollow Farm in Woonsocket, PT Floors, Walls, and More, Fontaine Real Estate, Heavy Press Graphics, Landmark Medical Center, and State Senator Melissa Murray.
Casey Kasem has unlocked the American Top 40 vaults and is replaying original shows from the 80s. This week, Casey takes you back to June 21st, 1986. That's when Belinda Carlisle was mad about you. Whitney Houston found the greatest love of all. Simply Red was holding back the years, and the Jets had a crush on you. You'll hear those songs, all the top 40 hits, and the long-distance dedications from June 21st, 1986, right here on American Top 40, the 80s.
It is Coffee and on ON Radio. Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Romeo Berthum. We're expecting Rich Lane to pop in at any moment. But this segment of the Coffee and program is sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper. Anything you want to say about the Breeze there, Dave?
Are you kidding me? I always like to talk about the breeze, Joe. We'll have a nice little easterly breeze tonight, along with our 82-degree temperatures for the Levitt concert. I have in my hand the North Smithfield, Blackstone, and Woonsocket edition of the Valley Breeze newspapers, aforementioned by Mr.
That'd be
there
me.
you go. By Mr. Berthum here today. It's talking about that. You're just going to have to follow it, Joe. Woonsocket High School class of 2023, perfectly imperfect. I thought that was a pretty good little deal.
Yeah.
Perfectly imperfect. Nice little slogan over there. Of course, major land development approved for a local business owner in North Smithfield. Read all about it. And then on the Cumberland Lincoln edition, I'll pick that one up here and show it to those who are enjoying our video stream here. There's gratitude all around the Davies graduation, and the Courier Park replacement would be near Stop and Shop, according to the mayor of Cumberland, Jeffrey Butter. And, of course, lots of other interesting stuff, plus great ads in the Valley Breeze newspapers, free where you shop every Thursday. Joe?
All right, Dave, thank you very much there. Okay, we did get a note. Rich Lane cannot make it in today. That's too bad.
Well,
All right.
that would explain the empty chair, Joe.
That would explain it. So it's too bad because I had something for him, but I'll hang on to it until next week.
We'll fill in again.
It'll be more ripe next week.
That's right.
All right.
All right. If you're planning on going to Martha's Vineyard this year or Nantucket, be
Anybody
warned.
you know takes the ferry out there?
I used to go to Martha's Vineyard every summer
Yeah.
until when my family was growing.
There'll be a little more pier time
Wait.
for you now.
Yeah. Why?
Well, the
What's
Cape
going on?
Cod Times reported the Steamship Authority management has cited facing staffing shortages. Not enough people to run the ferries.
Surprise, surprise.
The labor shortage could impact its schedule for months. So there's reduced ferry service. So if you think you're taking the 1 o'clock ferry, maybe you're not.
That's too
Maybe you're
bad.
taking the 5 o'clock ferry
Yeah.
because we only have so much.
Yeah.
We only have so many people to run the boats.
Yeah. You can't drive there.
Well, you're not going to make it.
You can put your car in the ferry. You can fly.
Come on, I've seen it in movies. You can
I
drive
know.
it. Is there an airport on
Yeah,
Martha's Vineyard?
absolutely.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you can fly if you like. But that's
There's
gonna
one on
be
Nantucket
expensive.
too.
Yep. All right. So just beware of that about the ferry service. So other things going on in Massachusetts there, Romeo.
Okay.
Where did
My
I
adopted
just
state,
say it?
and yours too.
Mine
Yeah.
too, for that matter. Where did I
Native,
put it?
native Rhode Islanders we are.
I just had it. Oh, here we go. Massachusetts voters passed a law 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago. It was the right to repair law.
Okay.
Remember that one?
Yep.
That one's on the ballot.
Mechanic, yeah,
Okay.
sure.
So now the feds, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, is telling auto manufacturers, ignore it. Ignore that state law because we don't like it. It doesn't work in our favor.
No, there's more to it than that.
No, I think that's it. It's completely.
There's no. Well, you can think that.
Yeah,
but-
I know.
But then you wouldn't have all the facts.
I know. The federal agency says the state law poses safety concerns and conflicts with federal law.
Well,
Right.
And basically, is they want the local shops to be able to access the manufacturer's stuff.
I think the big, manufacturers are lobbying the federal government. Apparently, it's working a little bit, but I don't
But
know.
they passed the law in mass that we can do this, and
So
they're
I
being
know-
told, "Nah, forget
I know,
about
yeah.
it.
Well,
it doesn't matter
well,
that it's there."
Then the question is, what's more powerful, the feds or the states?
I thought the states were supposed
Yeah.
to have more.
General Motors. Yeah.
Probably.
I thought the states
Or
were
Ford.
supposed to have more power over the federal government.
I don't know.
Isn't that the way it was started out? It's just not turning out that
They're
way.
supposed to share the power,
Are they?
and there are certain powers delegated to the federal government that the states don't have, and vice versa, according to the Constitution.
Like
All
there's
right.
no federal liquor laws. Those are the purview
Right.
of the states.
Okay.
Or voting. Although voting is I take that back, because of the amendment that was passed in the 70s, the federal government got involved in voting too. You cannot prevent an 18-year-old from voting in any state, or women. That's another amendment.
Even if they're not registered to vote?
No,
Well,
no, that's
no,
not true. You
no.
have to qualify.
Well, you
but-
have to register, but I mean, you can't prevent. You can't say you can't vote because you're too young,
Oh, right.
and you can't vote because you're a woman. You can't do that because the federal government interceded by passing these various amendments over the course of our history. But
Therefore, the feds overruled whatever the state might want to do.
that might be that's a good way to put
Because
it.
there could be a state that said, no, we want to raise the voting age to 21 because we think 18 to 19, 20-year-olds are not bright enough
They
yet.
could, in fact,
But they wouldn't be able to.
before the amendment, I think it was the 26th, before the 26th Amendment, when they allowed 18-year-olds to vote, I think there were some states that were allowing 18-year-olds to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing with women. When women got the right to vote in 1920, there were already some states that were allowing women
To vote.
All the amendment said is states cannot prohibit women from voting.
Weren't there some states, this goes back a while, that were allowing like 14-year-olds to drive?
I believe, yeah, I heard Tennessee, one of the southern states, talking about which, again, in Florida, I'm
Yeah.
beginning to know a little bit more about their laws. You can drive at 15, but you can't get a license till you're 16.
What do you have? Just a
they give you a
permit?
full year to learn how to
learn?
drive. I think that's a good idea. I really do. Yeah,
Okay.
they give you a permit, driving permit.
I see. All right, back here in Rhode Island, and you could have knocked me over with a feather on this one.
Yeah.
David Patton is resigning.
Really?
Yeah. The Rhode
I
Island-
was surprised.
knocked me over with a feather, Dave.
In
No.
April, a conversation may have been had. Well, either you're going to leave or I'm going to throw
Or
you
we're
out.
going to make you leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Governor Dan McKee's chief of staff was emailed by Scout Ltd., an urban design company, which alleged that Patton made aggressive demands during a meeting about the redevelopment of the Cranston Street Armory in Providence. Did you read about some of the demands?
I did not, I confess.
He wanted a 6-pack of beer. That's one of the,
That's
that's one
all?
of the things
What
that
kind
I
of-
pointed
what
out.
kind of beer
I don't,
did
think,
you
it, I
want?
don't think it mattered.
It was a particular no. It was Diet Coke.
Yeah.
I'm traveling with a
Yeah.
friend who wants
Diet Coke.
a 6-pack of chilled Diet Coke on the table when we arrive.
Yes.
As I recall, the quote was.
Or what?
It sounds like a diva. It sounds like someone, a
Exactly.
superstar is going to
Yeah.
these are my
If you
demands.
expect the
Yeah.
state
you want me
to
to
be
play?
spending any
Yeah.
money with your company, you're going to have to please us, and this is how you do it.
Well, he's got to go. And he went.
No,
And he
you,
went.
you haven't bent over backwards far enough.
Enough. Yes.
Wow.
He sounds like those, musical artists that want the black,
Well-
want the brown M&Ms taken out of the bowl. You know.
Next time I come here, Dave, I want my coffee ready. I don't want to have to get up and brew it myself. Okay.
We'll take
Otherwise-
another advisement and put it before the board of directors. Tim.
We'll vote on it a little later.
And if Denise won't do it, you're out of luck.
Okay. I know what you were going to say, but that's okay. No, but
All right.
that's similar to that, right? It's similar demand.
Yeah.
I'll go on Coffee Inn, but you're going to have my coffee ready for me when I get there. That kind of stuff.
There's one of my favorite Christmas movies is
Yeah.
Elf with Will Ferrell.
Oh, yeah. I
And,
love that movie.
They're talking
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the other children's
Yeah.
artist.
Yeah.
I want I want the limousine at the airport. It better be 72 degrees when I get inside.
And it better be pink.
That's right.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
All right, in other news, Nathan Carmen has passed away. Who is Nathan Carmen? You do know him. He's the guy that was accused of killing his mother. This goes back to 2016.
Oh,
on the fishing
at
trip.
sea, yeah. Now
At
I know.
sea,
Yeah,
and
that's
they-
right.
they
After
never-
they were investigating the mother, he said,
his
it looks like he
grandfather.
killed his
The
granddad,
grandfather,
too.
Connecticut,
right.
yeah.
And what happened?
He killed himself, it looks like, in a jail cell in New Hampshire.
He knew what was coming.
Well, he was going on trial in September for the killing of his
Grandfather?
of the mother.
Mother.
Of the body was never found, by the way.
Right.
So it's alleged that he just kind of.
Very hard to prove when you
Splash.
don't have a body. But
Well, they said they found. Remember, they found him floating
yeah.
on the raft. But gee, why do you have all this food and all this water in the raft with you? That's odd, isn't it?
yeah.
So, but he was he's gone now. He said the boat sank, and now they think he rigged the boat to
I'm sure.
sink.
Well,
Or he
I'm
just
sure.
shot holes in it, maybe.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Well,
That's
well-
just crazy story.
Well,
there.
all indications are that he did it. I mean,
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And now we'll never know.
He had
the
a
rest-
motive.
The rest of the
Well,
story.
his motive
oh,
was,
money. He, millions of dollars in
follow
inheritance.
the money.
Yeah. And now who gets that money?
Do you have kids?
He didn't have kids, no. I don't know where it goes now.
Oh,
I mean, I got my hand out.
cousins.
But,
all of a sudden you're related, right?
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Hey, how are
my
ya?
cousin Nate,
Cousin Nate. What?
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and
Yeah.
program. More is coming up, and this segment of the Coffee and program has been sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper.
Since its founding in 1996, the Valley Breeze has been the trusted source for local news in the Blackstone Valley. Our readers and advertisers understand that shining a light on all aspects of our communities and doing it with some of the best local journalism anywhere makes these cities and towns better places to live in. We believe that truth has value and should triumph over rumors and misinformation. See valleybreeze.com or any of our 5 editions for more on how you can be part of this local news success story.
The yard sale event of the season is happening June 24th and 25th at Pepin Lumber. Come see all the bargains in front of the store. Tools, hardware, decking, paints and stains, craft items, unfinished wood items, and more are all part of this incredible yard sale. Bargain hunters and DIY enthusiasts will both love what you find at the Pepin Lumber Yard Sale, Saturday, June 24th from 7:30 to 1, and Sunday, June 25th from 8 to 1. Pepin Lumber Yard Sale is at 830 Cumberland Hill Road, Woonsocket, June 24th and 25th.
When it comes to emergency service for plumbing and heating, you can't beat C.J. Nemus, 37 Corey Street in Woonsocket. C.J. Nemus offers over 15 years of experience and is licensed in both Rhode Island and Massachusetts. C.J. Nemus offers complete heating system service, plumbing, water heaters, plus drain and sewer cleaning. Remember that senior citizens receive a 10% discount. So give Charlie a call today at C.J. Nemus, 769-4776. They're registered with the Better Business Bureau. They're a master plumber with quality service. It's the only way and the best way. With C.J. Nemus, call today, 769-4776 for C.J. Nemus.
Fresco Italiano, a Night of the Arts, returns to the St. Ann Arts and Cultural Center on Saturday evening, June 24th at 5 p.m. The evening will feature professional artists, an art competition by the Northern Rhode Island Council of the Arts featuring students from Woonsocket and Cumberland high schools, and a delicious Italian buffet served under the center's magnificent fresco paintings. Tickets are available at Beeler's Flowers, Creative Impressions, The Honey Shop, Timeless Antiques, and Vos True Value Hardware. For more information and menu, visit the St. Ann Arts and Cultural Center website.
Thanks, Dominic. It is Coffee and here on ON Radio. Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Romeo Berthium. Well, Romeo, our casinos in Massachusetts doing pretty well for themselves.
Yeah.
They all 3 generated almost $28 million in tax revenue. That's just in tax
that's
revenue
good.
for the state in 1 month. That was in the month
I
of
was gonna
May.
say, wow.
Right. And altogether in the month of May, 40 million when you include the online stuff.
Yeah.
$40
and
million.
and
Yeah.
more than half of that,
Yeah.
$28 million in tax generated at Encore Boston Harbor.
I'm sure. That's
So
beautiful.
that's-
That's, a beautiful.
A lot of them going to that one,
facility. I've
and
been
like
there.
that. And yeah, another 12 million generated online and in-person sports wagering. And how many people ran and put anywhere from $20 to $100 down on the Bruins to win the Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
And then it all went to the state. Well, not all of it.
Well, that's good because it
that's
goes-
that's why it's so high in May. I think.
if it goes to the state, it goes to taxpayer as well.
No, it all went to the current Stanley Cup champions.
Oh yeah, that particular.
That's where the
one.
whole season
Yeah.
went.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to stay here anymore.
Down
I
the
don't-
tubes.
Oh no, they fired him, David.
Yeah.
Alrighty, now this is protests are protests, and that's fine, and like that. But when you do silly stunts, it's tough to take you seriously. And this is what happened at the State House in Boston yesterday, Romeo.
Okay.
8 climate change protesters were arrested at the State House in Boston yesterday after they
It's going to require some math, by the way. You want to need a pencil?
and a piece of paper. They disrupted a session at their state senate yesterday. The 8 suspects entered the chamber yesterday and then displayed their backsides. They're only wearing only pink thongs. Now they don't
Okay.
say if the protesters were male or female, by the way. Just
Does
protesters.
it matter?
Could.
It would. It would.
Now, on their rear ends were the letters that spelled out the message, "Stop passing gas." All right?
Oh God.
The mooning of the lawmakers brought charges of indecent exposure, which I say is going to be thrown out because they're wearing thongs. If
Yeah.
they wore this on the beach, everything would be fine.
Yeah.
They also got charged with disorderly conduct and trespassing on state property against the 8 protesters.
Did the local TV stations carry that story with pictures and everything?
I do not remember seeing it yesterday, but then I didn't watch too much news yesterday.
They would have had to done some editing possibly.
I don't
because
know.
of
It all
censorship.
depends on
Even-
the thong.
Yeah, I hear
If
you.
you run down
Yeah.
to if they run down to Horseneck Beach or
I think they'll
another
be,
beach in Massachusetts,
I would say they would.
would they
be-
block those out?
I don't think so, but I think they would be charged instead of indecent exposure with disrupting the legislature.
Well, that's the disorderly conduct charge.
That's a more serious charge. I think.
And they charged it, so now you're trespassing. You
Isn't
weren't
that,
invited.
isn't that what happened in not that particular incident, but something similar where a couple of local legislators in Tennessee disrupted the session of the legislature, their own legislature, and they were
arrested.
They were not only arrested, they were expelled from the legislature.
They've also been brought back.
And then they were brought back.
Yeah.
So it's a similar thing in a way. You can't go into like even our own state house here in Providence. Or
Yeah,
I
you
should
just
say,
can't-
they're,
you can't burst in.
You can't. I don't think you can. I think it's disorderly conduct. Go to a city council meeting and do that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll carry you out and probably charge you with disorderly conduct. As far as stop passing gas, did they do?
Clever.
I even hate to ask, but do you think they? No, never mind.
Yeah.
This
Think
is-
better of it there, Romeo.
This is a family. This is a family program, and the owner is sitting right next to me. So,
All right.
I want to be back sometime.
So remember,
Yeah.
whatever's going on in your life,
Yeah.
things could always be worse.
Yeah.
And maybe you've had to suffer through the issues of having a kidney stone.
I heard about
And
that. I'll let you
but
say it.
there's this guy. Is it a guy? Hang on. Doesn't say. There's a
Okay.
person
Yeah.
in Sri Lanka. All right. Had a kidney stone larger than a baseball. And it was removed.
I can
Doctors
only-
said the stone was over 5 inches long and weighed nearly 2 pounds.
I can only say one word. Ouch.
So they called the Guinness Book of World
Yeah.
Records.
Yeah.
And they came down and they confirm it.
How does that happen? I mean, how
How does
big?
it form?
No, but I
don't
mean, God, there was
They
no
could-
way he was going to pass that guy.
Yeah. The Guinness Book confirmed the kidney
Yeah.
stone is the largest and heaviest ever extracted through surgery. So, hey, you made the book.
How's the patient? All right. You know?
Doesn't say.
Assume he's all right.
I guess he's okay coming through the. You're gonna
Yeah.
feel much better after surgery. We can
Oh.
we can guarantee it. All right, so that's what happened there.
Yeah,
Now,
wow.
back here closer to home, the Heinz Ketchup Company.
Yes.
Okay, Heinz is releasing sauce packets custom designed for each state.
Really?
Dubbed Sauce America. Clever. huh? The condiment packets are limited edition, will be available at restaurants or anywhere else that typically have these packets of stuff.
Yeah.
So there'll be classic ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, barbecue, ranch, and tartar sauce. So I don't have what they're going to have here in Rhode Island. But
What do they get?
Texas,
Yeah. Go ahead.
they get the barbecue sauce.
Yeah, that makes
Makes sense. Colorado gets ketchup because that goes with their state's famous bison burger.
Okay.
And Florida, here you go, Romeo,
Yeah, okay.
mustard because that pairs with a Cuban sandwich. Do you see that?
I've had the Cubans. They're pretty good.
Good stuff.
I like pears.
Now, Heinz.
Yes.
Is that the company that John Kerry is related to? I think he married into
Yes.
that family.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just thought I'd ask. Just a little footnote.
Little footnote right there. So, the Houston police were they were fooled.
Yeah?
Yep, there was reports. Okay, there's a woman's body laying on the ground in Houston. Turns out it's a false alarm.
Oh.
The Harris
It's not
County
a woman's body. It's a false alarm.
It's a man's body.
Not a man's body. No. The Harris County Sheriff's Office has said the body was found in the northeast part of the county and foul play was suspected. However, the Sheriff's Office tweeted out on Wednesday that the body turned out to be an adult doll.
Like a mannequin, but one of those blow-up dolls?
I like the kind you get in
Yeah,
those
like
blue
one of
stores.
those.
Yeah.
Not a mannequin you get in the store.
I know what you mean.
So
Again.
someone was just tired of their toy, I guess, and left it by the side of the road.
They could have
But it goes to show you how well designed, I guess, they are. If someone driving by thinks it's a real person.
Or the least they could have done is deflate it. Yeah.
All right, here's way too much information. Some of them aren't blow up,
Okay.
Some of them are made out of, I don't know what they're made out of, but it's
Sort of a
not air.
plastic. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
what they got fooled there in
Wow.
in Houston. So, but they took care of it, and I guess they were pretty glad to say, hey, it's not really it's not a real person.
The
So-
cops
so
put it in
we're
the
okay.
cops put it in their evidence room for later.
Just for laughs.
Collapse. Sorry about that.
All right, gentlemen.
A man is facing aggravated arson charges after trying to set fire to a fast food restaurant in Salt Lake City.
Ooh.
Not some kid, 65-year-old Thomas Lingle asked for free food at a Carl's Jr. on Monday.
Yeah.
And when they said no, he threatened the staff. After they said, no, you can't have it for free. That's the way this transaction works.
Yeah. Well, what,
You give
what,
us money, we give you food. That's
what,
how it works.
what do you think this is, San Francisco?
And investigators say he returned the next day, piled trash and other material against the side of the restaurant, and set it on fire.
Yeah.
He reportedly threatened employees again in front of police officers after he was arrested. Not very bright.
Not very bright. Probably has some serious mental issues, I'm sure.
Well,
He's-
certainly, yeah.
He's charged with reckless burning, which is such a thing, I guess.
Well, I mean, a much more serious thing, but basically the same deal.
Yeah.
Was the Tate LaBianca murders back in 1967, I believe it was, with Charles Manson.
Oh, yeah.
He was a musician. He hung out with
Yeah.
Beach
people
Boys.
who, huh?
He hung out with the Beach Boys.
Well, he hung out with people who worked with the Beach
Yeah,
Boys, and Terry Melcher, who was Doris Day's son, who was a performer in his own right and a record producer and all the rest of this stuff. And he freaked out, Terry Melcher, one day the way he treated another person. And so Terry says, I'm not going to back this guy. And then he's just going to blow up on us, and I'm in trouble with the record company and stuff like that. So he, while he was interested in the music, he says, no, this package ain't moving forward. And Charles Manson took that very, very seriously as a
Seriously,
personal affront. And he talked his followers into going there, and just the problem was is that Terry Melcher had sold the house that Polanski and Tate were living in
Yep.
to Polanski and Tate, and so Terry Melcher wasn't living there anymore,
So wrong place, wrong time.
right? And the family just killed everybody they could
That was
find.
there, yeah.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but that all started with just like, yeah, okay, no, I don't think so, sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Is Manson still alive?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's
Comes
still
up for parole every once in a while.
Yeah.
Keeps getting denied.
Well, that's good.
All right. You got something over there, Dave, or should I move on to something else?
now
here?
preparing for our interview at 9:10, Joe.
All right. How about this that's going on out there in Seattle? Seattle had a real tough time there during the whole Black Lives Matter blow up
Oh, yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
A federal judge is now blocking Seattle police from enforcing a graffiti ban. A ruling from a U.S. District Court judge has described Seattle's property destruction laws as too vague. All right. The preliminary injunction says the law targets speech and imposes a real and substantial threat of censorship. The city's attorney office is asking the judge to please reconsider the ruling because they're going to start spray painting everything.
Yeah.
They're going to tag every building if they're not going to get if they don't have any, and they'll do it during the daytime.
The
'cause they don't-
Space Needle with a swastika.
that's right. I want to see him get to the top of the Space Needle and try to
Yeah.
spray paint,
Yeah.
Kilroy or something like that. Up
Wow.
top
They don't
there.
do Kilroy anymore, Joe.
Well, if someone did it now, they'd be ahead of their time
Or behind.
or behind, whichever way you want to look at it.
Extremely behind.
So Al Pacino is a father once again.
Oh.
We had the story a couple of months ago that he was going to be a father. It's now happened. Al Pacino's 83, and his 29-year-old girlfriend, Noor Alfallah, recently gave birth and was seen by TMZ out with the actor in Los Angeles last night. Paparazzi photos showed what looks to be a car seat in the back seat of the car.
God
Which
bless.
is where
all
the baby goes.
All I can say is God bless him.
Well,
83.
Pacino
God bless the
and
kid going to grow up with a father who's not going to
gonna
really
be there.
be
Not
all
gonna be
there.
around. Yeah.
Alfallah
All
and
the-
Pacino have been together since April of 2002, but the pregnancy came as quite the surprise to Al, who had a paternity test done. Just
make
to
sure,
be sure,
make
I'm
sure
really
it's him.
him.
How old is the wife?
29.
Or the girlfriend?
Girlfriend.
And they've been together 20 years?
Oh, no. Since April of 2022.
Oh, you
so
said
a little over a year.
Okay, I got you.
And but he always said he has some condition, medical condition,
Yeah.
that should prevent him from getting anybody pregnant.
That's called
So
old,
he's-
it's called old age.
So he was a little surprised when it
Yeah.
when she became pregnant and said,
So
hey,
you
what's
wanted to
going on
make
there?
sure it was his.
And so,
God.
and you know Robert De Niro's going to have a kid.
How old is he?
79.
Let's hope for us old guys. I don't want any more kids, though. I've had enough.
You don't want a kid at
I'll
83?
take grandkids.
You can go to his graduation at 100.
No.
When he graduates from high school. All right, that does it for the show today. We want to wish everyone, all the dads, happy Father's Day. It's
Absolutely.
Father's Day on Sunday. It is
Yes.
not Mother's Day Part 2. It is Father's Day.
yeah.
Please stick to that.
No
Okay.
No ties,
No
please.
ties,
No
please. Okay. Dave,
Yes.
thanks for joining us here on the Coffee and Program.
You're very welcome, Joe. It's good being here with Romeo and you and all of our friends at home. And I'll see you tonight at 6 o'clock at River Island Art Park.
Yes, good luck at Levitt's. And Romeo, thanks for coming in.
Yes, I'll be listening tonight, and hopefully a lot of people will be listening to the Saturday show tomorrow morning, my usual gig, and I enjoy doing it, and look forward to it.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have a great day. Happy Father's Day. Gary Smith and the crew, Do You Remember, is coming away at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Do you remember that man who was charged with killing his mother during a 2016